17th of May at 7:30.
Right, so it's telling me that we are live. It's telling me that maybe we're now live. So let's see. See if your YouTube actually changes now.
Yes, I think we are. Yeah.
Right, so welcome everybody to the Engineering Signal. So this is James McLeod and I am here with Gergely Krista. We had a little bit of a YouTube mishap where, for whatever reason, so you'll be able to see me, for whatever reason, YouTube decided that it didn't want to start this stream until I flicked back to the tab that I was on previously. I have no idea why that was. And so we've been streaming here for a good, how long, 10 minutes? But it's not actually gone out. So it should actually be going out now, I'm hoping. I'm going to bring Gergely back into the stream now. So you should be able to see yourself, Gergely. Right, so Gergely, it's really good to see you. And I'm so sorry about that because we were actually having a really, really good conversation. One full of reaction and delight. A lot of excitement about what we're about to do. I think that maybe we should have a bit of a recap. So I was saying that, you know, during this this show tonight, what I would like to do is introduce you to a bit of a project that I've got going. So I have started building a bit of an agentic lab in the studio here, where I've now have a Mac Mini. So I have my main Mac laptop that I've been streaming from here. And I've also have my Mac Mini now, where I have Claude, plus a bit of a, you know, I'll go through it whilst I'm actually demonstrating it. But what I thought that I would do is demonstrate remote control, which is a feature of Claude Code, and also dispatch, which is a feature of Claude Cowork. Now, from what I understand, you've been watching a YouTube from Anthropic, you know, where I believe it's the lead developer of Claude Code. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so sorry. So I just want to say to the audience, and so it's recorded to history, that I started to watch a podcast where the lead engineer of Anthropic, who's the inventor and driver of Claude Code, talks about how he uses thousands of agents each night, just controlling through his phone and running different work streams non-stop. Even when he's not sitting in front of his PC, Claude Code is still doing the work. And I was thinking, I need to find out a way to do that. And just for the audience, James came on and just said, so I'm going to talk about remote control and I'm going to talk about dispatch. With remote control, it's basically Anthropic's way so you can control Claude Code even if you're not in front of your CLI or your PC. And I was like, fuck. That was literally what I've been looking for. So it was great. I don't want to undersell how happy I am right now that we're gonna go through this demo. And everybody, I would like to highlight the fact that if you've been working on something and you go away and you take a break, but you have this almost and I'm sorry to say this, but gambling feeling of addiction that you need to keep pressing, keep using the tokens and keep building what you need to build. You don't need to stop, Meyer, if you need to use the toilet or you have to go walk your dog. It's there. You can do that. Don't do it during driving. Be safe.
Yeah, but it's absolutely true.
James is gonna change our lives right now with some innovation.
I think hopefully I'm going to change, you know, at least give people some options. Because it is a really good option. I mean, I've been using it consistently and I think it's been driving my wife mad because it looks like I've been, you know, texting, but actually I'm talking to all of the, well, I'm talking to Claude Code in my office. Just, you know, anyway, so what I do, right? So I gave it the option of doing something fun or going straight to the demo. And so what I thought I'll do, we'll just go straight to the demo. And then maybe we'll do something fun after I've done the demo. So I don't want to prolong the anticipation and excitement. So
Yeah.
let me see if I can get this sorted out. I should have my second machine running here on my...
Yep, it's right there.
So you should be able to see this. So let me see if I can get rid of that. Right. Oh my goodness. What have I done? Can you see that? Right, I'm going to start again.
I
I'm
do.
going to
I
start
actually
again.
kind of like that.
Yeah, it was better the first time. It was better the first time. So let's see if I can do this again. So let's share this. I've got a feeling that if I go back to my terminal, right, so I've gone back to my terminal, and so we are good here. And I think that I can full screen this. It was better there. Okay, so I'm hoping that if maybe I increase that, right,
That looks good to me.
does that look okay? And so the
Yeah.
resolution should be pretty good. I think it should be pretty good.
No, the resolution is perfect.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So what we actually have here, you're actually looking at my Mac Mini now. So I'm streaming from my MacBook Air. But actually what you're looking at is my Mac Mini, which I have running within my lab, and so I feel like I'm a bit of a, don't know, bit of a Dr. Evil here in my little lair. But anyway, this is what it is. So over here I have, let me get my mouse here. I have Claude code running, and as you can see, it's actually asking me for permission to run the next batch command. And what I'm doing right now is setting up a bit of an agentic squad on my Mac Mini. And so if I go through the history of the project that I've been building, so across my entire environment now, I have Obsidian running, and I also have Notion, which is running in the cloud. So Obsidian is local, Notion is in the cloud, but against both of my environments, I actually have something running called Sync Thing. I don't know if you've come across that.
No?
Basically, it's an open source tool that allows you to synchronize peer-to-peer between different machines on your network. Because what I wanted was, I wanted two environments, two independent environments, one that is always on, which is my Mac Mini. So it's here running constantly, no matter where I am. And my laptop comes with me. Okay, so I take it, here, there, and everywhere, meetups, work, wherever. However, I have agents running on my laptop, and I also have agents running on my Mac Mini. Now, what Obsidian actually does, it allows you to save your kind of virtual brain in a graph taxonomy within Obsidian. And so the agents and Claude code kind of take what it's been doing and it saves it to Obsidian. But what I didn't want is I didn't want to be running two separate Obsidians, one on my laptop and one on my Mac Mini. I wanted them to use the same one. But I also didn't want to have to pay, for lots of different cloud environments because, the cost of everything starts accumulating. And so what I've done between both of my environments, so here and on my laptop where you'll see me, I've got Sync Thing, which is actually synchronizing Obsidian on my local network between both environments. So if I make an update on this side and it saves to Obsidian, Sync Thing then synchronizes Obsidian on my laptop. And so my agents on my laptop can work within the same context as my agents within my Mac Mini. And so if I'm using Obsidian for storing, technical specs, or it kind of keeps a daily diary, of everything that's been happening. So I've got like a thread of stuff that's been happening continuously, day on day on day. If for whatever reason I want to continue that work on my laptop, all I need to do is ask Claude Code to look at the daily diary, and it brings it from whatever Mac Mini has saved and vice versa. And so, they share, they're basically the same. They're like twins. They're like digital twins, kind of like sharing off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Notion, which is like in the cloud. But Notion is actually really good because the out the box Notion that you don't have to pay for allows you to still use their APIs, so you can get OAuth tokens and API tokens. So you can still set up Notion to be your Kanban board and your agile environment. And so that leads the work in the order of work. And Claude, is your product owner that, looks at the work in your roadmap and saves it to Notion, and Notion picks up all of the work as prompts. And so you have this like triangle. So Notion at the top and Mac Mini and then Mac laptop, all of them synchronized and all of them working together. So over on this side, I've got another little agent listening to me. So Siri thought that I said Siri, and I just said Siri again. And so it's going to start talking to me. Over on this side, I've been setting up the agent squad, and this is what I'm doing now. So I did get it up and running, but I got it up and running, directly off of the iOS operating system. And I've actually got Claude running headless within this environment. And so at the moment, you can see that I'm running Claude within terminal, and so it's basically the Claude CLI. However, if you want to run an agentic team, but you don't want to be running it through the CLI, you can set up Claude Code to run it headless in the same way as you would have like the GH CLI for GitHub. There's actually a Claude one. And so I got this up and running directly on my operating system. But I mean, this is the first time that I've done this. When you set it up directly on your operating system, it continuously keeps on asking you to authenticate different access rights to different parts of your environment, which then stops the agents from running. So just in the same way as if, you ask Chrome for access to your camera, it says, Chrome wants to access your camera, because of, Hangout. Claude just continuously did that. And so my agents were hanging. So what I'm actually doing here, I've taken that orchestrator, I've removed it, or I'm in the process of removing it from my iOS, and I'm actually bringing it into Docker Desktop. So you'll see it running up here. I've got Docker Desktop running up there. And so I'll have agents running in containers, which I don't know why I didn't think of doing this before. I'm also saving them to GitHub, which means that I can take that agent container and then run it wherever. So I can have multiple agent containers running on my macOS. I can have them running on my laptop, and they're all synchronized, through Obsidian. So the downside of this is that it just blows your mind. And so I'm kind of like in this state of, this environment is, it's amazing, right? But it just kind of like takes you, as you all know, right? So, okay, so back to the demo. So what I want to actually show you is,
this is really impressive, James. Like you obviously done a lot of homework. Did you hook up your Claude Code with your Notion? You showed that last time. Does it invoke one of the agents when you move something into progress, if you have something in Notion?
Right. So I'll tell you my intention. Okay. So it doesn't. So there isn't, as far as I know, unless you're running on the cloud somewhere. I mean, it could be that Notion will trigger it, but it doesn't in this case. what I'm doing, I'm running a 30-minute cycle on my Mac Mini, which then looks for any stories within
Changes in your
Notion.
notions.
Yeah. So within let me
does it make changes to your Notion if it finished the work? Does it put it into in progress? Oh, sorry, like in review or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Seriously.
Oh, nice.
Right?
I mean that's really good. So you have an API key or an MCP server or a CLI to Notion. Your Claude code has access to it, reads if something is in to do, puts into in progress, does it, puts it into in review, and that's your review gate as the human. But then you can review what's in the review, and it does it every 30 minutes. It scans Notion and assigns it to an agent. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. And so let me see if I can get
That's really good. I'm so gonna steal this idea from you.
Well, that's why we do this stream,
Yeah.
So this is just, part of continuous learning.
Yeah.
If I come up here and look at, let me find one that I've been working on. So maybe this one. So this is the co-work executor container. So these are the containers that I've been writing, and currently this is actually a private repo. Not because I don't want to share anything, but I want to make sure that I get up and running before I share it. But everything that is coming in here, so all of the README, all of the various different commits that are coming in here, it looks like I've been doing it, but this has been coming from my local Mac Mini, in the same way as if I come to London.js, I've got London.js slides that are running. I've actually integrated Netlify into my London.js slides as well, which is awesome because I can now run my London.js slides using Netlify and Node.js, which is absolutely phenomenal. And within here, I should have PRs that have been raised here with all of the various different stories that they relate to back in Notion. These have been raised by my agentic team, but the agents that raised this, and so you can see at the top here. So if I zoom in on this, they've got an identifier. So I've set it up so you can see who's actually executed it. So it's Claude code executed this story on the Mac Mini using this model. I can't remember what none is, but this is the time in which that ran. And so the only intervention that I actually put in here was me saying, looks good to me. So I was the person who reviewed that PR, and I was the person who merged it. But so if I can string this together, so right, if I bring Obsidian in, so Obsidian here is basically when I work with Claude Cowork, as I've been doing in this dispatch, Cowork and me have the business owner, product owner relationship, and so everything that we discuss within Obsidian and we agree, Cowork then documents it and puts it into Obsidian. So everything that I agree in Cowork goes into Obsidian, and so it goes into all of the various different, project documentation. So if I look at the Claude Agents backlog, that's written as Markdown, and so this is my local store for the scope of work as a product owner. So it describes everything. That then, and I can't show it on this on my Mac Mini because I'm not logged into Notion. We then break this down into stories that then go into a chained series of stories I'll show it on my other laptop. I'll come back over to that. That are chained together, and they just process one after the next, so they're linked together, almost like a linked list of executable prompts. So the tech docs are in here. When we say, yeah, it's good to go, CoWork then breaks that into a goal, which is long running, a series of stories, which are all chained together. And if those stories are big, it then breaks those into individual tasks that then get chained together. And so there's kind of like a cascading taxonomy, because I want to have it as short executable prompts that you can audit. Because I had a debate with CoWork. CoWork said, well, why don't you just have, one long executable prompt in a story? And I said, well, I'd like to have an audit trail, because if any of those, tasks fail, I want to see exactly where it got to, look in the comments and see what the failure is. I want it to be kind of, as small a unit as possible without going crazy. And so that's how it's set up. So Obsidian is docs and kind of like chain together memories. If I go back to it, I might be able to show you what it looks like. So this is the graph view, which is pretty awesome. So if I zoom out, this is what my second brain looks like and how everything is chained together. Pretty awesome, isn't it? So all of these things are linked together. I manage this with CoWork. CoWork then sticks all of that work into Notion, and then Notion is executed from Claude code. And as you said, it's got a backlog, it's got ready to, ready for whatever it is, ready, so we flip it to ready to go, or whatever it is, whatever the flag is. And then it gets picked up by the agent teams. And so the agent teams then own that story, or maybe even the entire goal, and they just run for it. They just go for it. And they don't have to think about the architecture at all. So the agents just do the work. They just run the prompts. And it's me and CoWork that architect it using skills. And maybe a couple of other agents, if there's, something that we need to think about, regarding security, and so I do kind of like use the Claude skills in CoWork, to make sure that we are defining and examining things precisely, because otherwise it just makes things up. The Claude makes stuff up. So unless you're kind of like really tight with it, it makes stuff up. That's
yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. No, this is amazing.
I'm glad that you like it.
This is so cool. Like, all of us are becoming Tony Starks. If you think about it, all of us can have a Jarvis now, sitting at home, and we can ask Jarvis a question.
Yeah.
And you can customize it. I'm actually planning to do a little project when Claude talks to me as soon as I turn my PC, like I would be Tony Stark, and like he starts up.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not quite there yet. I'm actually looking to run OpenClaw in a container on my Mac Mini. So I have a couple of agentic teams and one OpenClaw on there.
Can I have a question to you?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
I'm trying to consider what to buy for myself as a home server. Why are you still utilizing Raspberry Pi, or you feel like Mac Mini is your main source at the moment?
I would say that my Mac Mini, but it depends what you want to do. Okay. So if you want to run some local models, you need something with a little bit of clout there. And the Raspberry Pi is brilliant. And I want to bring that back into play, actually, because I've not been utilizing it in the way that I should be. But, you can only do so much. I'm trying to offload as much to, agents as I can, and then figure out a use case for the Pi. But it doesn't have the clout that you need to do what I'm doing here. It has exactly what you need to learn the constraints of running a model, and then making it autonomous, by having maybe a single agent running around that. And so I would say that, people are running agents on, Macs and PCs and, maybe even, in the cloud, where you have the luxury of having as much processor as you can afford. But when you constrain it all the way down, that's when you start thinking about affordability, and the footprint of your model and how much CPU and RAM you've got, in order to be able to run it. And I think that, by working on something with a tight constraint, it allows you to take that thinking into limitless kind of like constraint, because the more tokens you spend and burn, the more it costs. And so by bringing it down to a tight kind of like environment, it teaches you how to be conservative with your spending. And so that's what I've learned through this. But I've got to bring my Raspberry Pi back out to play, because it's fun. I mean, Raspberry Pis are awesome. But anyway, let me see if I can get this working. Right, so can you see?
Yes,
this is basically my mobile running Claude. Okay, so
I was expecting Butcher, I'll be honest with you, to say to greet you like it would be Butcher.
We can get Butcher running. Right, so I'm going to do my best on this camera. Okay, so if I, where can I find it? Okay, so can you see that I've got code under there? You've got chats, project, artifacts, code, and dispatch. Now, if I hit code, underneath there, you can see that there's basically a session that's running. It's got like a green connected. You can see that. So if I then go into that session, you can see that there's a chat history, so basically what you're seeing in my terminal is the chat history of what is on my mobile. Now, if you see here, it's asking me, do I want to allow that bash, which is basically on the share screen, to execute? I'm hoping that I hit the white button. So there.
You did.
There you go. Can you see this just started? On the share. So what you should see, so there is an orange blinking light. Can you see that? That is
I can see that.
there. So now if I then go to the white one and hit it again. There you go. And so you can do that wherever.
And it does it, and it tells you exactly what's going on, and it's going on the screen as well.
Yeah. So look at this screen share.
This is so cool. This is amazing. I can just
there you go.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Oh, I'm setting this up right now. I'm so tempted just to stop talking to you and start setting it up. This is
you can't go.
Oh, it's so good.
But then, okay,
this is not a plug, by the way. I'm not wearing a GitLab t-shirt on purpose.
So I've now got my my mobile next to me down here, and so I can see that there is, always allow for this session. So I'm going to hit that, and so you'll see that one will tick over. Right. So if I so all of these. So if I show you what this is actually running over here in Claude. Let me I'm going to use my keyboard and do that. So you can see the ST07, ST08, they're the stories in Notion for what it is that I'm doing. And ST1 here is the goal. And so I'm building an orchestrator, but actually what I'm doing, I'm removing the old one that was on my Mac, and I'm replacing it, getting rid of a load of tech debt at the moment. And so right now, this will just continue to run. So you'll notice I'm not prompting anything. It's going through all of those Notion stories, and it's just continuing to execute upon them. Now, if I go over here to co-work, what I'm going to do is come back here, and it's going to look pretty similar. So if I bring this back onto my camera, you'll see under code there's dispatch.
Yep.
Over here in co-work, I'll show you how you actually start remote control in a second. So you'll notice in co-work, you've got new tasks, you've got projects, scheduled, live artifacts, and then you've got dispatch here.
Yes.
So if I actually start a new task, this is what a new task looks like. Well, if you want to do something remote, you've got to go onto dispatch here, and it then starts a remote control for co-work. Now, if I come over here on my phone, you will notice that everything that is on my screen share is basically mirrored on my mobile. Yes. So over here, if I type something, I'm going to be a little bit secret. I hope this doesn't mess up my project. Right, nearly there. There we go.
Oh, nice.
So I'm hoping that actually picks up on my
because that makes sense on chat, right? On chat, I sometimes talk for 10 minutes to Claude Code and let it decipher what I want, and then I pick it up on my PC from Claude Desktop. But that makes sense. Claude Cowork is different because you can actually ask it to access things on your PC or your server.
Yeah. But in this case, it's slightly different. So I do that a little bit sometimes. Right. So what's Butcher saying? Hey, the engineering signal. Pleasure to be live with you lot. I've spent the day chasing Notion stories through Claude Code on Mac Mini, taking honest L's on PM drafting drift, and watching the executor catch one of my own bad hard rules mid-chain. Methodology gets sharper when the executor pushes back. That's the bit worth showing up for. What can I do for you?
So how do you manage your tokens? Have you ever actually reached limit with your current subscription?
Yeah, I'm blasting the hell out of my tokens.
Are you on the same as me? So you're on Max, I'm on Pro, right? So yeah. Pro is the next sub.
So I am on here. So I'm on Mac. So it's 5 times the usage of Pro. And then you've got like the next level up of Max, which is 20 times.
Yeah.
Now when I'm watching people, talking about token usage, they actually say you need to use your tokens, because I think that people actually sit on their tokens and they don't necessarily utilize them. So you can see that the project that I'm working on at the moment, bearing in mind that I am actually using Opus 4.7 for it, because it's actually a very long-lived, very deep piece of work that I'm doing right now. Because there's a lot of integration happening within Docker, and the context window for 4.7 right now is 1 million, on the newest. And so it's good to have that available. But even at 40%, knowing that I'm about to go into a working week and my utilization's about to drop because, I'm at work, that will fall off. And once this piece of work is done and I get into running, agentic squads, I'm basically just going to be using Sonnet for that. And so I'm going to pare that down, and so my Sonnet use will increase and my Opus use will decrease. And so it'll be really good to see how it balances out. Plus, in my mind, I've got other ideas as well about bringing LLMs local. But I don't want to start overthinking right now, because I just go down the wrong path. I need to finish this project before I, start something else. Um, so anyway, I mean, so that's what I've been doing. I hope it's been, useful. I don't want to over focus on one thing and, not have the
No,
opportunity to see what you've been up to. But
I think showing people and me what you're doing is amazing, because so for me to sum it up, what you've done, you found a way to continue working on your server, even if you're not sitting in your office. You find a way to inject all your thought processes and your architectural vision into software, and you're able to connect it to your agentic workflows. You're able to create several of those instances on two separate devices and manage to find a way through an open source solution to connect those so they sync in without your intervention, and you don't have to worry about that. And in the meanwhile, you're all managing this in Notion and continuously trying to improve on it. And you have that's I think that's like, I don't know if people have seen 80 Days Around the World with Jackie Chan. Like, I kind of imagine your house like the inventor's house, where there are pipes running through the ceiling. Like steam is whistling out of pipes. So this is really interesting. I find this really interesting, and obviously, it's really, really cool. And I think that's how you're building something that will allow you to build whatever you want. There's nothing on the market that you won't be able to build through this for yourself if you have a vision for it.
Yeah, it's
So it's really cool.
And that's the thing, right? So my ambition is to not vibe code. Because I think vibe coding is great. You can basically ask you and your IDE to do whatever you want in that moment. But actually what I want is because I see, kind of beyond vibe coding, once you actually get to that site that you want to build, maintaining it through conversation is actually going to be really, really tricky. And so it's my goal to be able to have that continuous thread of, adding features, to a product roadmap, and have intelligent joined up product development, rather than iterative conversations that, take you down a bit of a blind route, or they're not scalable over time. Now Absolutely. In here, I should have a Kanban view. So this is Notion.
Yep.
And so basically, Notion is where all of the work is happening. And so everything that you'll see in this happening in co-working and Claude code ultimately ends up here. So if I find something that's in progress, this is what we're working on at the moment. So this is what it's churning through. And
could you please share your screen on Google Meet as well, please?
Oh, can you not see? I'm sorry, Gergely.
Oh, yes. That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Of course I will.
It's visible on the stream, so don't worry.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that you should start.
Lovely. I can see it. Yeah, thank you.
Right. So, is this good? Are you seeing?
Yeah. Very clear.
Right. So this is Notion. So it's notion.com or notion.so. And when you come in here, like I explained before, you can do loads of stuff in Notion, but I've got it set up to track an agile board that starts with goals, so you can have multiple products. So you can have a product roadmap, and then you can have goals, which are basically your epics. And then you can have stories, which are tied to your goals. And then you can have tasks that are tied to your stories. And so that's kind of like the cascading taxonomy of it, so it goes from long to chunks to micro units. If I go into my stories here, or go back to my stories, I've switched it to a Kanban view. And so ST1 which is what we were just seeing Claude code running through, is basically written as an executable prompt. So there's no asking cowork or any of the agents, can you go and discover and answer this question and think for yourself? It's basically telling it exactly what it needs to do. And so it's very, very, very specific. And these are how all of the stories are actually written. And so you can see the story meta contains the parent,
metadata,
the priority, if it's blocked, what's it blocked by, the different labels, the machine that's being executed, the LLM that's executing it. When I go out into the cloud, rather than running it locally, I need to keep an eye on cost. And so it's basically saying how much it will cost. So this story will cost 50p. The body status, so rewritten, self-contained, so it's got, and it chains it all together like that. So I want to, kind of have a bit of a, what would you call it? FinOps kind of like approach to understanding how much things are costing me. It doesn't really matter that much when you've got like a Claude subscription, but it matters a lot when you're running on the cloud. Say if you're on Factory AI, or if you're running, somewhere which is charging you for tokens, you need to know basically what you're spending. And so that's what this is doing. It's giving me the heads up on that. And so I've got hard rules down here.
These are really, really good.
It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
It's so good. It's so good. It's so useful.
Yeah. And the only way that you can get into it, when you and I started this, basically we came onto this, podcast webinar to learn about this, know, and this is where it takes you. This is kind of like what lifelong learning is. This is the purpose of it.
Indeed. Right, just because I'm conscious about time and that I'm gonna have to go not too soon, or soonish. I wanted to see, at the beginning you mentioned something around lighthearted, and I've been hoping to see, because I'm expecting it's going to be something similar to you trying to rage bait me into saying what's AI, what's not.
There we go. Yeah, it is. And
I kind of want to do that.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to take us back to the engineering signal, test card, or, the page, so people can't see it. And I'm hoping that I'm going to have to share it with you, aren't I? So let me,
probably.
I don't know whether this is going to give it away, Gergely. I've got to figure out how to share it so you can't see the answer to this. Well, you may know the answer anyway, because you're really well informed about this.
No, you're too kind.
Yeah, no, not at all. Right, let me see.
Let me know if you're sharing something.
Yeah. Can you see what I am sharing?
I can see that, yeah.
Right, okay. So I've got a feeling that you're going to know the answer to this anyway. Okay. But I want you to tell me whether this is AI or not.
Do I need volume for it? I don't know if I'm going to hear it.
You probably will. I don't know if there's a way that you can kind of hear it over the stream. I don't think that I'm actually streaming.
Yeah. Let's give it a try. Yeah.
Let's give it a try.
Can hear it, by the way.
Wait, I've got to turn it back on for
people. The bad news is, right, James, I've seen this.
Yeah, I thought you might.
I've seen this.
So I'm going to turn that down so I can hear you. Did you say that you've seen this before?
Yeah. I've seen the series.
It's so what do you think? Is this AI or is this not AI?
No, I'm gonna re-saying that this is even some parts of it are hand drawn. This is not AI.
Well, you are
I
absolutely
don't.
right.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. This is a masterpiece. I seen this.
Yeah, it is a masterpiece.
The
So
level of detail in this is amazing.
there we go. I'll pause it and I'll come back to you. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not AI, and I thought that I would stop rage baiting you with AI, and I'll give you an intro to Akira from 1988. And
I seen Akira. I love it. It's up there. I have a few other animes that I really like from that era. Cowboy Bebop, similar style, very good animation. If you haven't seen that, probably did. But it's good shout. Thank you very much for showing it to me. I was excited to see it again, but I seen it
yeah,
before.
yeah, I knew that you would. I thought I've got to introduce something which is in the style of your background.
Oh yeah.
Very future, kind of Tokyo, very, very much like your background. But yeah, Akira is absolutely amazing. I remember seeing that in 1988 when it was actually released.
Right.
I was, let's think, 15, maybe a little bit younger than that. And just taken back by it, and having all of those frames, because it's a long movie. I mean, it's not a short movie, but it's absolutely epic. And just thinking, there are individual artists, who are hand drawing that, and the soundtrack is awesome. It comes from a really well written set of graphic novels, and I don't know if it's manga, right? I'm not that well informed. I have reason to believe it might be.
Manga. Yeah, it is manga.
But yeah, it's awesome, and you got it right. So Akira from 1988 officially is not AI, but still holds up. It's absolutely phenomenal.
We need to take points on like when I'm right and when I'm not right. I kind of want to have a James 3 James to 3 James to Gergely or something like that. You need to make some conclusions like that.
Absolutely. So I reckon, right? So the next challenge is on the next stream. You can take over the stream and you can kind of give a demo to something that you've been working on. Because I'm kind of like aware that I can hyper focus on myself and take over everything, and I don't want that to be the case. I'd absolutely love to see everything that you've been working on.
I think this was amazing, and I really wanted to see this, and without being coming across as not genuine for anybody. Genuinely, this was so interesting for me. I have 4 tabs open and I took some notes. I'm gonna go away and do my homework. I have something to show you next week that I'm really next week is I'm here. I can do it. I'm gonna be here. So if everything works out, we're gonna be here on the podcast, and I'm excited to show everybody that actually gonna be in the team of my background, but in a little bit different way. But it's gonna be an agentic tool that I'm really looking forward to showing you, because it might be something that you use as an addition to what you already have.
Really? Oh,
And
that'd
it's
be
open
awesome.
source. I'm not gonna tell you anything more.
That's absolutely phenomenal. So let's see where it all joins together. Next week. I'm going to keep on plugging away to get these agents up and running in Docker. And so hopefully by then, although I'll keep mine a little bit passive and in the background to yours, but hopefully by then, there should be something, which is taking some form of, backlog of work and churning it through and building continuously. And then I'll inform you about what my vision is for the next step after that, because I've got it in my mind kind of like all queued up. But yeah, I mean, it's looking good. We're doing really well here. We're doing really well. We're really taking it by the scruff and we're giving it a good shot.
Oh, it's amazing. We are I think we're doing some really good. I'm really excited to see. It's definitely teaches me a lot.
Same here.
Thanks for introducing these. I knew Notion. I didn't know Sing thing, and I didn't know Obsidian. And we talked about it before, but I didn't know it before. So this is great. Thanks, James.
Yeah, it's my absolute pleasure, and thank you as well, Gergely. Have a absolutely phenomenal night. And thank you to everybody who's watching us, live on YouTube. It's an absolute pleasure being here for everybody, whether you're here now or whether you stumble upon us in the future. Make sure that you make comments. Tell us what you're doing as well so we can learn from you.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
Have
James.
a great night. See you later, everybody. Right, so the stream is done.